Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's top story. Disney appears to have developed a serious case of déjà vu, and rather than seeking medical attention, they've decided to cash in on it. Yes, the House of Mouse is on a live-action remake rampage, taking the beloved animated classics of our childhood and running them through the shiny, photorealistic Hollywood machine. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell because unlike Disney, I promise not to re-release this episode every 5 years with an extra 5 seconds of bonus footage. Stay tuned because this news tastes better than a churro at Disneyland. From Dumbo to Aladdin to The Lion King, and yes, even Mulan, Disney seems determined to prove that every animated animal, princess and talking candlestick deserves its gritty real-world debut. But why? Tonight, we break down some of the reasons Disney keeps reheating yesterday's leftovers and serving them on silver platters to box office audiences everywhere. The first and perhaps most glaring reason Disney is addicted to remakes is what we in the news business call the Marvel effect. After purchasing Marvel, Disney rode a decade-long tidal wave of cinematic success that culminated in Avengers Endgame, a film that smashed box office records with a jaw-dropping $2 billion haul. To put that in perspective, Walt Disney could have built Disneyland 116 times with that kind of cash. They even toppled James Cameron's Avatar for the top spot, albeit with some re-releases and poster bribery. But still, a win's a win. Seeing that formula of a cinematic journey leading to a massive finale worked once, Disney seems convinced it can work again, this time with live-action remakes of its classics. Think of it as Disney creating the remake cinematic universe, complete with nostalgia-powered box office receipts. And much like Marvel, there's no such thing as an endgame. These companies will always find a reason to bang that drum one more time, because in Disney's eyes, there's no such thing as too much magic when billions are on the line. Now let's talk about overcrowding, or what insiders like to call the happiest place on Earth. Unless you're waiting in line for 4 hours, Disney World, with its 70,000 employees, is the largest single-site employer in the United States, and also happens to devour enough electricity to power a small nation. During Christmas alone, they hang up 700,000 LED lights, enough to light up a 96-mile stretch of road. That's a lot of sparkle. But how do you keep the magic alive without breaking the grid or creating the world's longest bathroom line? Easy. You build another park. But not a physical one, a digital one. Enter Disney Plus, Disney's clever way of letting you visit the theme park from your couch in your pajamas at 2 in the morning. These remakes serve as bait, dangling in front of viewers to swap their Netflix subscriptions for Disney's shiny new digital kingdom. Less staffing, less pollution, more profit. Mickey just went green and digital, and suddenly, you don't need to stand in line behind a sticky-fingered toddler to enjoy Beauty and the Beast. You can just stream it while avoiding eye contact with your cat. But there's more. Another reason Disney keeps dragging its classics out of the vault and into the green screen studio is to keep the characters fresh in your memory, like reheating leftovers so they don't go bad. Imagine going to a Disney park and riding attractions based on characters no one remembers. Step right up for the thrilling adventures of The Black Cauldron, said no child ever. By remaking Aladdin or Lion King, Disney keeps Simba and Genie alive and relevant, ensuring that the theme parks feel timeless, rather than stuck in the VHS era. It's a strategy of synergy. The movies fuel the parks fuel the merchandise, and the merchandise fuels the movies. Rinse, repeat, and toss in a $40 popcorn bucket shaped like Olaf. Disney knows that nostalgia is their strongest currency, and live-action remakes are essentially free advertising campaigns for their parks disguised as new films. But now, here's where the news takes a slightly creative turn. Literally, Disney's remake spree is a little more sobering. There's currently a creative drought. Don't get me wrong, Disney still has talented creators, but one of their most influential creative forces, John Lasseter, left the company. And his departure left a vacuum the size of Cinderella's castle in their storytelling department. Think about it. Lasseter was the driving force behind modern classics like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Zootopia, Coco, Up, and Wall-E. That's a murderer's row of originality. With him gone, it's a little safer to recycle Aladdin than risk billions inventing a brand new universe. Why gamble on a fresh story when you can just hire Will Smith, give him some blue paint, and call it a day? It's not that Disney is out of talent. It's that originality requires risk. And right now, remakes are the cinematic equivalent of buying a pre-baked cake mix instead of baking from scratch. And speaking of cakes, let's cut to the sweet frosting. Predictability. Remakes have one undeniable advantage. They're safe. When you go to watch live-action Lion King, you already know how it ends. Scar loses. Simba wins. Elton John collects another royalty check. There's no mystery, no risk of a flop, because audiences are already invested in the story. And while critics argue this lack of suspense makes the films dull, Disney sees it differently. Why roll the dice on a new character when you already have Aladdin and Jasmine locked, loaded, and selling lunchboxes? Sure, it's basically karaoke cinema. Same songs, new singers. But audiences still show up in droves. Let's pause the breaking news for a quick moment. If you're enjoying this broadcast of Disney Deja Vu, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button and share this with your friends. After all, spreading a smile is free. And unlike Disney merchandise, I won't charge you $29.99 for it. Now back to the story. Another critical reason for the remake renaissance lies in the economics. These films are what we reporters like to call low-hanging fruit. The stories, characters, and songs are already made, meaning the risk is low and the rewards sky high. Take a beloved classic, add some CGI, sprinkle in celebrity casting, and boom, a billion-dollar hit. It's like fishing in a pond, where the fish leap into your boat. When you look at the box office receipts for films like Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King, it's clear Disney isn't motivated by artistic exploration here. It's pure delicious profit. But there's also the franchise fatigue issue. After years of dominating the box office with superheroes, Disney needs another long-term play. Live-action remakes offer that bridge. Think of them as filler episodes that still keep the money rolling while the studio regroups and plans its next big original move. They buy time while still cashing checks. It's the cinematic version of microwaving pizza rolls while you figure out what's actually for dinner. Of course, this doesn't mean Disney will abandon originality forever. Films like Moana, Frozen, and Encanto prove they still have sparks of creativity. But when you compare the sheer effort needed to create new universes versus just updating existing ones, it's no contest. Writing new mythology is like running a marathon blindfolded. Remakes are like running the same race with a map and a water bottle. Much easier, much safer, and guaranteed applause at the finish line. So what's the endgame? According to our prediction, it could all build up to a live-action Moana. Imagine The Rock reprising his role as Maui in real flesh and muscles. Who wouldn't pay to see that? But let's be honest. Even after a so-called finale, Disney won't quit. One day, yes, even Frozen will get its live-action makeover. And eventually movies we haven't even seen yet will be remade before we finish digesting them. It's an endless cycle of magic, money, and mild déjà vu. Because if there's one thing Disney knows, it's that nostalgia sells faster than Dole Whip on a hot Florida afternoon. And there you have it, folks. The investigative scoop on why Disney keeps dusting off the vault and hitting replay on your childhood. Whether you see these films as magical tributes or shameless cash grabs, one thing is certain: they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So buckle up, because your favorite animated snowman, clownfish, or space ranger is probably headed for a live-action glow-up in the near future. This has been your slightly sarcastic, nostalgia-fueled evening news. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next broadcast. And most importantly, share a smile, because unlike Disney tickets, that one's free.